Hey, it's Kristel here. Welcome back to the Dally Diaries, and today we are doing a ranking video. If you know me, you know that I am terrible at making any kind of decisions. Like, it genuinely hurts my brain to have to decide between things. And so this is quite a feat that I'm about to undertake. If you haven't been here before, at this channel we love to talk about all things makeup and beauty, and we love to do it in a fun and supportive way because I am a qualified makeup artist, but I don't really think that that's even important. I think what's important is that you have a passion for makeup and you enjoy trying out new things, and yeah, it should be about inspiring and all the fun stuff. So today we are ranking my Huda Beauty palettes. Now, I have a bit of a meh relationship with Huda. I am not obsessed. I'm not obsessed. No, there are things that I like about Huda Beauty and there are things that I just am left a little bit like about. And so I will talk to you more about that as we go through and rank these palettes. If you haven't subscribed, I would love you to go ahead and do that. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy. All right, first up, we have a palette that I hate. Yeah, I hate it. That is a strong word, I know. But when I first purchased this particular palette, again, every single one of these palettes I picked up in a sale. This one I got from Sephora, and whilst I love the packaging, I do not love the insides. It is the Wild Chameleon palette. How cool is that packaging though, seriously? So this is a little 9-pan palette. I like the color story of this palette, but I hate the quality. For some reason, these shades are patchy when I put them on. I have to build them up like crazy to get the pigment that I want, and they don't wear well either. Also, I find this particular shade really disappointing because in the palette, it looks like it's gonna just be really vibrant and have a lot of guts to it, but on my finger, it just looks dull and it doesn't have the punch that I really wanted from that eyeshadow, which is a bit sad. The purple's nice. Look, some of these shadows are genuinely nice. Like this bronzy shade is nice. That one actually looks very pretty. I like that. But yeah, I think this shade here disappointed me the most. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's actually really quite pretty. But I remember the last time I used it thinking I'm never using this again, just because of how much I had to build up the eyeshadow to get decent color payoff, and also the fact that it just didn't wear very well. It didn't wear well. The eyeshadows didn't last on my eyes, even with a primer underneath them. And it was just disappointing, which is a shame because I do like this color story a lot, actually. So yeah, that is in the number 8 position for me. Next, we have one of Huda's 18-pan palettes, and this is called Mercury Retrograde. The packaging is stunning. Also, I really struggle to say retrograde. I had to practice it like 3 times. Retrograde. I think the problem is that I smile a lot, and so sometimes some words are hard to say when you're smiling, like retrograde, because you need to like move your mouth to get that sound out. Anyway, this is not linguistics. Mercury Retrograde. Now, it's a beautiful package and it looks beautiful, right? Am I right? Beautiful. Totally. I am only placing this down low on the list because I don't really enjoy cool tones very much. And so for me, this just isn't my favorite color story. If you love cool tones, this is your palette because there are some really pretty eyeshadows in here. Those two are very pretty, especially for inner corner highlight shades. But this is another thing that I find disappointing in a lot of Huda products. Again, the shade Mercury that you would assume this palette is actually named after, in the palette looks absolutely gorgeous. Swatched on my finger, looks like that. It's just not anywhere near as impressive on my finger as it is in the pan. It's almost dark and dirty on my finger, whereas in the pan, I don't know, it's more beautiful, okay? I don't know. I just am disappointed by some of her eyeshadows. But this is a really pretty sparkly number. I might have to try that sometime. To be honest, I reckon I've used this palette once and then put it in my drawer, never to be seen again. So maybe I will try and wheel it out from time to time and get some more shadows on my eyes. But if you love yourself a cooler toned color story, and to be fair, there are a couple of warm shades in here, But if that's mostly what you're into, then you might really like this palette. So that is the Mercury Retrograde palette in number 8th position. Coming in at number 7, we have got another small Huda Beauty palette. This one, this time, is the Caramel Brown palette. It is a 9 pan. Now, if I can get this open, I'm going to tell you what I like about it. Okay, good. That was going to be a real spanner in the works. So what I like about this palette is, of course, being that I love warm colors, the fact that this is a very warm toned brown palette. I like that there are oranges in here. I love an orange. I love that there's golds, there's bronzes. Things I don't like about this. This bloody shade here, honestly, it's such a Huda thing to do. This shade is, I don't know, what is it? Like some kind of cream to powder situation? I don't know, but it's just a waste of space because it's so lackluster. Like, honestly, I just don't know why it's there because it does stuff all. It is so meh. And I just wish that she had included just a normal eyeshadow in there instead of that one in the corner, because that is just a waste of space in my opinion. Also, I know everything else is pretty good. Let me swatch some of the other shades for you. So I really think they're very pretty colors. The one thing that annoys me about this palette is just that one eyeshadow in the corner. I don't know what it is and I don't know what it's doing there. So that is Huda's Caramel Browns in, what am I up to? 6th place. Okay, next we are going back to another bigger palette. This one is another 18 pan palette and it is the Desert Dusk palette. Again, just beautiful packaging, honestly. Oh, look at that. Whew. So, Desert Dusk palette is, let's look at the description on the back here. 18 eyeshadows in 4 ready to layer textures, 8 buttery matte, 6 pressed pearls, 3 duochrome toppers, and 1 daring glitter. That would be the one thing I don't like about this palette probably, is just the glitter. I'm just not vibing it. That is the glitter in the palette. It's pretty, but it's glitter. I just can't be bothered with it. What a spoil sport, I know. Let me swatch out some of the other shades in here that I actually really like. So Twilight is gorgeous. Blood Moon is a really pretty one. Retrograde is cool. And let's go for Royal and Turkish Delight. So those ones swatched out here. As far as Huda's shimmers go, I don't think that they feel particularly special. They do look nice on the eye, but they're not anything really out of this world. I'm not blown away by any of Huda's eyeshadows, really, if I'm being honest. So even though they're pretty colors and I do like the color story and they're wearable, you know, like, eh. So that was the Desert Dusk palette. Now this is a smaller palette from Huda. It is a 9 pan. It is the Wild Jaguar palette, and there's nothing I don't like about this palette, to be fair. I do like all of this palette, although I don't tend to wear this shade much just because it is a bit cool. But I know this is quite surprising because I do like warmer tones, but I think that the combination of this color story is quite surprising and quite enjoyable. So we've got the gold and this gorgeous kind of deeper, what do I even call that? Like a chrome shimmer color. There is a really pretty lavender leaning shade in the center, and then a little bit of a smokier browny mauve in the corner. And what is the other? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. And then this guy, like a deep gray to black color. So those shimmers are actually really pretty in this palette, and I do really like the combination of the gold and the silver and the lavender. It's quite surprising and quite beautiful. The mattes in this palette are fine. I've never felt like Huda's formula for her mattes are anything to write home about, but some of them are terrible. These ones aren't terrible. These are okay. So, and they're complementary. They work with the shades in this palette well, so I think that she's chosen well in curating this little palette. So that was the Wild Jaguar palette. Just reverting to radio speak right now. We don't really speak like that. Okay, next up is the 18 pan palette, the New Nudes from Huda. This is a pretty nude palette. I like it. What I don't like about it, the inclusion of 2 pressed glitters don't need them, don't really want them. Now, if you're a glitter person, then happy days, get on it because you'll like them. Because actually, the colors of the glitters are very pretty. It's much better than this one in the Desert Dust palette. This glitter sucks. It is just not a good formula, but the glitters in this palette are much prettier and actually, they're actually really quite beautiful. Am I just changing my mind about what I said? But yeah, so they are pretty. If you're gonna have glitter, have those. But what I really like about this palette is these 4 shades. The shades are called Crave, Fantasy, Daydream, and Charmed. And these are 4 multi-reflective shadows. This is what these ones are. And these are really, really pretty. I like these a lot. So they're beautiful in the palette. There are also these 2 mattes here that'll give you a bit more depth, but nothing outrageous. Really, my favorite part of that is the creamy, shiny shades. I think they're really pretty. If you'd like me to do looks with any of these palettes, just let me know because I don't think I have done any. Have I done any Huda Beauty videos? I think I did one, but it was a get ready with me. So if you would like to see me just put any of these on my face, please just leave a comment down below and I will do my utmost to appease that request. All right, we are getting up the top end now. This is number 2 in the list. This is the 18 Pan Palette Naughty Nude. I like this one. Now, it's described as having 8 velvety soft, powerfully pigmented mattes, 5 high shine buttery metallics, 3 multi-reflective shimmer cream marbles, and 1 matte cream marble. Oh, also 1 sheer pearly gloss hybrid. And we're going to talk about that. Okay, so let's open her up. This is the Naughty Nudes palette, and there is a lot that I like about this palette. There's a lot of really beautiful shades in here. I'm a big fan of the color Shameless. That's a really pretty one. Please Me, Flower Power, Desire's Gorgeous, Provocative. There's a lot of shadows in here that are very pretty, but actually you'll probably find that they're quite similar to the shadows that I liked in the previous palette, the New Nude palette. So, you know, I probably wouldn't buy both again. So, love those, think they're beautiful. I do enjoy the mattes in this palette as well. I like the color choice in mattes, but she's done it again, guys. Huda has done something whack. She has gone and put in this bizarre shade here, Slippery, which I don't know what to do with. I put it on my lips once and it looked okay, but it lasted like 5 seconds. It is, I mean, look, just look at it in the pan. It's like a jelly product and it's, yeah, it's gel-like, it's creamy. And when you swatch it out, it doesn't look like anything. For the life of me, I don't understand why she does these things. Why is this in the palette? I don't know. I don't know what she wants me to do with it. But if she could just write me a letter and let me know, that'd be great. Apply the Pearl Gloss Hybrid to bare lids. Okay, so maybe if you're doing a no makeup look, you can put that on the lids. But honestly, I just don't see the point. I'd rather have a proper eyeshadow in there that I can use. What do you know? But other than that, yes, I do think that's a really nice palette. I do enjoy the Naughty Nudes palette. Now at number 1 in the countdown, we have got another 18 Pan palette, and this is probably not surprising to a lot of people. This is the Rose Quartz palette, and it's beautiful. Look at that. That is incredible packaging. It's absolutely beautiful. Now this one, it's really hard to read the writing, but this includes 8 velvety soft and intense mattes, 3 high shine buttery metallics, 3 pearly soft shine metallic eyeshadows, 3 quartz inspired cream marbles, and 1 crushed stone pearly gloss hybrid. There it is again. Why? All right, this is how she looks. And there are some standout shades in this palette, which is actually why I put it in the number 1 position, because there are a couple of shades in this palette that I will never use because they're gray, and I hate gray eyeshadow generally speaking. So for instance, the color Precious, not a fan of that at all. Also this one was that Radiate and Mantra, not a fan of those. It was a tough one putting this in the top position. It was almost the Naughty Nudes in number 1, but what got this one over the line was the shade Cosmic Love, the shade Blissful, and probably the most famous shade from this palette, and the reason why many people bought it, Moon Magic, and I fully understand why, because it's beautiful. Those 3 shades are absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Check those babies out. Absolutely beautiful they are. I really, really love those shades. They're quite creamy as well. Big fan. Other than that, I do also enjoy these mattes up here. I think they're really nice. And yeah, the pinks are pretty as well. It's definitely though those 3 shades that got this one into the top place, because they're just beautiful and they're standout shades. So that was my number 1 pick for Huda Beauty palettes. But funnily enough, if you were going to go buy a palette that I use all the colors of, it would actually be probably one of these little £9 palettes, either the Wild Jaguar or the Caramel Browns palette. So yeah, take from that what you will. I'm sorry, I'm particularly indecisive, but that is my ranking of Huda Beauty palettes. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you want more of them. I hope you are having a wonderful festive season. I'll be back with you very soon. Bye.